Alright guys, let's go ahead and continue on with our buildings. Now we've gotten our rectangle and we've done this that we've done before. We're going to go ahead and cut off our building to make it look like a building. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to kind of go back and forth and just make these a little bit darker for you so you can see that. And the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and figure out how deep or how wide I want my building to be. Once you have how wide you want it to be, go ahead and draw that vertical line straight down, and it should give you something like this. I'm going to go ahead and just make this guy just a little bit darker so that you can see him a little bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. So staying straight with this line, I'm going to kind of bring up my ruler or my straight edge and do the same thing again. So now I have my building, my first building. So this is building number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a 1 there for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 2 and 3. What I strongly suggest is there's 2 ways of doing this. Now we can create another building right off of this. And I can show you how to do that by just going ahead. And so this is option 1. So we have this, and we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to do however wide you want it to be. And I'm going to make mine a little bit dark so you can see. Try to keep it as straight with that first line there. And then there we go. Now we have building 1 and building 2. And again, just darken those edges so we know that they're buildings. Just kind of, there we go. So we have building 1. Building 2. Now I'm going to show you how to add a space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a space in between building 2 and building 3. So I'm going to do that by just adding a little bit of a space there. Now what this does is it creates this alleyway that we're talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here again, keeping it as straight as I can. Connect, make that L shape. I'm going to do it one more time. This time, straight up and down. And then I'm going to go straight across again. So now we have building. We have a building 1, 2, and I'm going to skip this one, and this is going to be 3. And what I'm actually going to do next is to make it look like an alleyway. To make building 3 look like it has an alleyway, I'm going to erase this little converging line here. And I'm going to erase this part here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just darken this part up for you. Make this come straight down. So I added that line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right here, I'm going to go ahead and draw this line there. So now it looks like we have building 1, building 2 who are connected, and then building 3 here has a little space. So that is that. Now we're going to go ahead and teach you how to do doors and windows. Now doors and windows are just the same. We're just going to kind of tweak it just a little bit. So the first thing is I'm going to go ahead and put my pencil right on my vanishing point, and I'm going to figure out how high do I want my door here. Do I want my door way up here? Do I want it down lower? Which I suggest I'm going to keep mine pretty low this time. So I'm going to again put my pencil right on that vanishing point, tilt it just a little bit so I can get that height. And let me see if once I get it, I'm going to go ahead and every door I'm just going to skip, draw a line, skip, skip, and then draw another line. So now we have these little lines here. Now all you have to do is just do your vertical line straight down and go all the way to that converging line. Now I'm not going past the converging line. I'm not going in here. I'm staying within this line here. And I'm going to do the same thing. And if you notice, what's happening with these squares that we're making as our doors are they're getting big, medium to small. Now you can even, you can add these little lines here to give it the effect of this kind of doorway. Oops. There we go. All right. So now I have those kind of doors. You can even put in, if you want to do these little things here that we have for those doors, when you go into the grocery store. You can put those in, but that's doors. The next is windows. So windows are the same way. You got to figure out where you want the top of your window. So I'm not going to go all the way to the roof. I'm going to go a little bit further down. Again, match up with that vanishing point. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing like my doors. Line, space, do another one, and do another one. Okay? And then this time though, I'm actually going to go ahead and work on my bottom. So where do you want the bottom to be? I'm going to aim for right here. Again, line up to that vanishing point. Go ahead and do those lines. And then of course, you go ahead and do the same thing that we've been practicing. Straight lines down. Straight lines down. Straight line down, straight line down, straight line down, and that one's actually going to be kind of hard to see. Now, if you can see, I did a few mistakes here. I can just choose to erase them, or you can use them later to help you with bricks if you want to try brick. That is definitely not something you're required to do right now at this point in time, but again, it's definitely something to think about. If you want to do brick, we can definitely learn how to do brick. I'm actually going to use this line here to kind of create my, there. So now I have those inner sides. I'm going to do the same thing for my window plane, figure out how wide I want it to be, figure out the angle, and go ahead and do the window plane. There we go. Now it looks weird. This window looks really weird, doesn't he? I feel like he needs to be just a little bit wider, and I can do that by shading in. All right, that is it for doors and windows.